Uncle Storytime, a haunting in Drakensburg. In September of 2010, I went on a group tour in South Africa. There were about 20 people in our group from all over the world. Our guide was a local man with many years of experience. About a week into our trip, we were arriving at Drakensburg, a beautiful mountainous area. We were staying on a privately owned domain, which used to be a farm many years before. The main building consisted of a kitchen, a large dining room, and a bar/lounge area. The bedrooms were in separate little huts, which were set away from the main building. Before we even arrived there, our guide got anxious, saying he didn't like going there because the place was haunted. A few people started making fun of him, but since I do believe in ghosts, I was curious to see if we would experience something. After we got there, we got some free time, most of us sitting in the lounge area, reading. Our guide told several of his experiences, most of which I honestly don't remember, but it was clear that he was very nervous. After we all had dinner together in the dining room, our guide stood up along the wall facing us all to tell us what we were going to be doing the next day. The wall was about 6 to 7 meters long and had all sorts of old farming tools mounted on it. He had his back towards the wall, facing us, and was explaining the next day when we could see 2 tools on the wall suddenly started swinging. One was to his left and one was to his right. He was oblivious to it. I guess they were outside of his peripheral vision. We just looked on, kind of in shock, as those tools started swinging even faster. Suddenly, one of them stopped completely, and the other one was thrown from the wall. It landed about 2 meters away from the wall, scaring the guide so much that he just ran outside screaming and refused to come back in for the rest of the evening. I always try to look for a logical explanation, but I couldn't figure out why only 2 tools would start swinging. There was no draft. The windows and doors were closed since it was the end of winter, and we were up high in the mountains, so it was cold at night. One tool stopping suddenly. If something is in motion and the motion stops, the swinging would gradually get less, not stop dead cold in just 1 second. The other tool falling off, something falling off a hook, would fall straight down, not be catapulted 2 meters away. Needless to say, walking to my little hut in the dark was a bit nerve-wracking, and it took me a while to fall asleep. We stayed at that place for 2 nights, but nothing happened after that experience. Story 2: Lost Love. Since my divorce in 2010, I have only really been in one real relationship. This guy was unlike anyone I had ever known before. We had our little fights, and I really did not like where he worked. But despite those things, we really cared about each other. Unfortunately, things didn't last, and soon I heard that he had met someone else. I was happy for him, albeit a bit begrudgingly. He contacted me at one stage to ask me if I would be okay with him opening a trust account for my boys. He was crazy about my kids, and he then told me about the new lady in his life. He said he was drawn to her because she was just like me. He had gone through cancer treatment before we met, had a tumor growing on the side of his face, and was in remission by the time we got involved. The chemo and radiation he had gone through had killed off his capability to have kids, according to the doctors. So I was very shocked when I saw on Facebook, his mom and I have remained close all these years, that he and his wife had had a baby. On Valentine's Day 2017, I was sitting in my car the morning before work, and I had this sudden, overwhelming feeling that I needed to talk to his mom right then and find out he was doing. So I sent her a message on Messenger, trying to be casual, even though I had a horrible feeling. We exchanged little pleasantries. She asked how the boys were doing, and I told her how things were going with T's treatment. He has CF. I then asked her when last she had heard from her son, to which she replied, "Oh my darling, don't you know he passed away last year?" I was dumbstruck, shocked, in pain. He had found out that not only had the woman he married been cheating on him with his best friend, he also wasn't the father of the baby he had believed to be his. It broke him. He had decided to take his own life, wrote letters to me and his mom, the two women he needed to explain to, and then committed suicide. I spoke to a friend of mine, a lady who happens to be a medium, as I was battling to cope with the shock, and she was able to channel him to talk to me. I asked him why he chose Valentine's Day to break through to me. He said that he had decided when we were still together that he wanted to ask me to marry him on Valentine's Day. Bittersweet. He also said that he had written to both myself and his mother, and that the letters were destroyed by the woman he had been married to after his death. His mother said to me she had asked the woman if he had left a letter because she knew her son and he wouldn't have done this without trying to explain. The woman said, no. Both mediums I know have interacted with him. Both have, without being in contact with each other, confirmed that he had left behind 2 letters. His mom and I spend time talking to each other, and she keeps telling me that she wishes he and I had stayed together. The sad thing in life is that you cannot turn back time,